G'day guys, 4K Dave here. In today's video we're going to explore my search and rescue / hiking pack. This bad boy here. I'm going to go through all of the components for it, lay it all out so that you can see exactly what's inside it, and I'll explain all of the parts to it, why I carry them and what benefit they have overall. Before I get into the video, this is a brand new channel. Make sure you subscribe and throw a like on the video to show some support, and I'll endeavour to make more content soon. So this pack here is a Hunter's Element pack. It's stocked for 24 hours of food and water. There's actually more calories in here than you need in the 24-hour period. I'll just quickly pick the camera up and show everyone a bird's eye view angle of the pack. As you can see, it's got compression straps on the side that I use for my jacket, and then on the other side here I have my axe. This is the back of the pack. As you can see, I've removed the water bladder. That is because I had an event yesterday. The water bladder is getting cleaned at the moment, but I will throw it in there just so you guys can see it. Alright, so first of all, on the side here I have my 3-in-1 jacket. Now this jacket here is reasonably new. It's to replace my older jacket, and it is from Kathmandu. On the inside here it has 2 layers, so it's got a weatherproof outer layer and also a nice warm inner. You can remove the inner layer and just rock that. It's got nice deep pockets on it on either side. It's got zips on the sides so you can put your hands in the sides, and it's also got stuff pockets on top so you can just stuff things in there for ease of access. One thing I quite like about this jacket is under the armpits you can unzip to allow some breathing space for your armpits. On the outside of the pack here I have a black diamond carabiner, which is very useful for hanging things off. I did have a little bottle that I hung off it at one stage. I just found it was swinging around a bit much and annoyed me how it would slap my arm sometimes when I was walking, so I tend not to have it on there, but I always keep the carabiner on here. You never know when I might need it. And also carrying external gear. The specs are right there if you can see them. One thing you may notice on my pack is a bit of red tape or black tape, where I originally taped up all of the straps on here to prevent them from snagging on things in the bush. It just keeps the backpack nice and compact. Originally I did it all in black, but since then I've readjusted some straps. I've utilized them for other things. On the base here there is some straps where you can put things underneath the pack too, as carry hooks too. So on the other side of the pack here, as you can see, I have an SOG tactical tomahawk. It's really easy and accessible where it's located on the pack if I need to get out and use it in the field. Well, this tomahawk I tend to use it as an axe. It comes in really handy when there's gorse, bracken or other foliage that you need to cut out of your way in the bush. It's very lightweight. There's not much to it. I mean, there's definitely a wee bit of weight in it. Now the wee hip pocket on the pack, I keep 2 things in. Electrical tape. Now this stuff is a lifesaver. You can use it for literally anything. I like the red colour. It just gives it that bit more visibility in the bush that it stands out. So hence I go for red colour. This tape's awesome. If your shoes fall apart, you get cuts, scratches, scrapes, or you need to fix your jacket temporarily, this is a really quick and easy solution to do that with. The other thing in here is some hand sanitizer. This stuff's here especially good if you need to conserve your water and wash your hands adequately. Unfortunately I lost the plastic end off this. I will, when I get time, repair this and attach something useful to it. On the base here is a rain cover. It's a nice high-vis fluorescent orange rain cover. It is attached to the pack, so I'm not going to bother taking it off. It's a bloody good size, and it covers the axe and also my jacket if it's attached on the side. Although if I am using that rain cover, I tend to be wearing my jacket too. Right, so we'll go through the top pocket of the pack next. So all of the bits and pieces here goes into a waterproof pack on the inside there, which stays open so it's easily accessible. Sometimes when doing river crossings I have to fold this up, but before I do there is contents in another pocket I have to transfer into here also. So what I have in here, first of all, is a nice lightweight compass. This is a very basic sort of compass, but essential in the field. So I always carry 2 of them with me. This one here, but also the second one is on my watch. This watch here is a Tactical Delta Solar, so it does have GPS built into it. It's got a ton of applications on it, and the battery life is about 23-24 days before you have to charge it again. So it's amazing. As you can see, I don't know if you can read down here, it's got 8 days left, and I haven't charged it for a long time. It is a couple of grand in price, so it does tend to be a wee bit expensive, but to have all that technology on your wrist is very important, especially out in the bush. It is waterproof to 200 meters too, so you can take it swimming. Next thing is I always bring a marker and a pen wherever I go. This here is a head torch. It was damaged a wee bit, but it still functions perfectly well, especially in the bush for use at night time. Here is an emergency poncho. If the jacket's soaked, you can use this. Now, I've actually used the same poncho for many years. It's not ripped as far as I know. It's just done me well. And I mean, you can make an emergency shelter out of it if need be, just in order to get the tent up if you had to, or even use as a cover underneath the tent. I've never used it for those purposes, but it can be perfectly suitable for a variety of things, and it's very lightweight. Also, these sunglasses, when they're in the pack, they fold up like this and they can be prone to getting damaged, so the poncho just sits pretty much inside the glasses there. Makes them more rigid and stable, so the glasses aren't going to get damaged in the pack. Now, I went away from safety glasses because I found these sunglasses do the same, basically the same thing. These sunglasses I find pretty average, so I will be looking for some better sunnies / safety glasses to take out into the field in the future. Maybe there is a 2-in-1 version. Could be really ideal for off-track through the forest if needed. So this here is a Write in the Rain notepad. I did keep a list of expiry dates for things I used to carry around in the pack, but I no longer carry some of the stuff on this list anymore, just because it was expiring too often and I really had no use for some of the items. Most of the pages in here are completely blank. So yeah, Write in the Rain notebook, really decent item to have in the pack. Here I have some Airwaves chewing gum, really good for in the winter when you got a blocked nose. Next item here is a standard lighter, good for a couple of things, making fires, also sussing out the wind direction with the flame, especially good for sorting out where the helicopter is going to land if you're sorting that out for search and rescue. And to go with the lighter is also a bag of cotton balls that have been absolutely coated in Vaseline. Now these are essential for lighting fires. The Vaseline just burns really nicely, especially in the snow. Really cheap and easy piece of kit to manufacture for your pack. Last thing here is some tissues for blowing your nose on if you're sick in the winter. Next compartment we're going to look in is this front pocket right here. I only keep one item in here generally, which is my gloves. These gloves are perfect for taking out in the bush and also for doing general work. So you can press buttons on the phone screen with them. You can also handle hot things like boiling pots, and they're just generally good for walking through the bush and moving shrubs out of the way just to stop your hands getting cut. Right, next pocket is the side one here. We don't generally need to open up the pack to get into this one, and I'll just take all the bits and pieces out of it. So in this pocket is a few essential items. First of all here is some sunscreen. Now it says SPF 30 plus on the bottle, however I have topped it up with SPF 50 plus. I just reused the same bottle because it's the perfect size. Some Goodbye Sandfly insect repellent. This one's nearly empty. I have here a small can of deodorant so you can smell fresh whenever you need to. A complete tube of Vaseline. Now this is particularly good for chafing or for starting fires. You can also put a seal over any cuts if you're going underwater too. Got some wet wipes here, just general cleaning wipes. And the last two items here, which thankfully I've never had to use these two, which is my millbank bag. This here is for filtering sediment out of water, and also an emergency filter straw. What I would probably do if I was drinking untrustworthy water is get the sediment out, boil it, and then use the filter straw. The only issue is you'll never get chemicals out of the water by using these instruments alone. Now I'm going to open the top part of the pack and show you guys what's on the underside of the lid. Now it's just a wee mesh bag. If I was going through a river or in water, I would take all of these components out and place them into this waterproof container and just chuck them all in the top of the pack. So these are all of the items in that pocket. First one being a toothbrush, which I've cut in half just to save a bit of room in the pack. And of course a bit of toothpaste to go with it. This pack here I've got some surgical gloves and just kept them separate in a separate wee bag. I've got some decent dressing here that is stretchable and reusable, again for wounds, sprains, strains, other things you may come across in the bush. Medical shears, cutting clothing and other items. This here is a whistle to get people's attention when you need it. Some reusable earplugs here, just for noisy environments. Here I've got Bonjela. This is for any oral issues or pain you may experience when out in the bush and need a relief for. Along with it, I have some antifungal cream and antiseptic cream. A couple of things I went past was some spare batteries for my head torch and flashlight. And in here I've got a cable and a power bank for my phone. This does 2 full charges on the cell phone. I don't take this with search and rescue. However, I do take it when I go hiking. And of course the mobile phone will come with me wherever I go. Right, the main compartment now. On the inside of the pack here, all of the pack contents is in a waterproof liner that is easily removable from the pack. And that's all of the contents that's not water. So the water bottles and the water bladder always live outside of this liner here, and inside here is everything else from inside the pack. Just so you can see, on the inside of the pack, but on the outside of that waterproof liner, I have my 2-litre Camelback water bladder, and I also carry with me 3 600ml plastic bottles of water. Depending on the duration of time that I'm out for, I pack more water where needed into the pack. The pack I use is never completely full. I can always take more things, but I try and keep the weight down just so I don't need to consume as much water and calories to keep me going, especially if the pack was a bit heavier. Right, inside this waterproof part, so near the top, I have these 3 items. Generally when I'm out and about, I throw these on my belt, so I don't have to worry about going into the pack to retrieve them should I need them. First one here is my LED Lenser torch, which is the T7.2. Now this is super bright and works really well, especially with full batteries. And this here is my multi-tool. This is a Leatherman MUT. It's got some really decent tools built into it. Some pliers, wire cutters, hammer end for smacking things, a really decent knife, and also a saw and some screwdrivers. The screwdriver bits that I keep on this tool are common ones. I've got number 2 square. I've also got a T15 Phillips flathead. I do have the extra bits, including the extension bit for this, but I never carry them around with me in the pack because they just take weight up where I don't use them that often. I've also modified this pouch a wee bit. So in the back here is a magnesium rod, and also on the inside here I keep enough tin foil that I could craft a cup should I ever need to if I have to ditch my pack for whatever reason. This wee blue waterproof pouch here is my personal first aid kit. So first thing in here are some Quickies tablets. These are really good for resolving heartburn. Irrigation saline here. If you get anything in your eyes and need to flush them out, this stuff's really good to have. Or if you need to clean out a wound or prevent something from sticking to a wound. Emergency blanket, ever need one, it's always here. I have some Steri-strips, especially good if you've got some deep cuts that may need stitches, can temporarily hold them together. Some burn gel. I have got an Israeli dressing here. These are really good compression dressings if I ever need to use it for something. Couple of 75 by 75 gauzes to throw on wounds for applying a bandage. Couple of different plasters. In the pharmacy I carry around, I've got some aspirin, paracetamol, antihistamine, and some ibuprofen. Next here is my food bag. This is generally what I take. I do always throw in some more bars in the top of the pack whenever I go out. So this is just food that's in the pack if I need it or when I need it. There's always going to be 4 protein bars in there. Really good energy on the go. Also this nut mix that's really high in calories. And then I always carry a minimum of 2 full meals in the pack. So I've got one of the regular sized 175 gram cooked breakfasts here. So it's a big breakfast. And then I've got a small sized roast chicken meal here. Now sometimes I carry 3 of these. It really depends on where I'm going and what I'm doing. Minimum is going to be 2 of these packs inside that bag there. Also got here a Cedar Summit fork. I don't need any other eating utensils other than this really lightweight fork. As you can see with the type of food that I'm packing, I don't need knives or spoons. If I did need a knife to process something, I've always got this multi-tool on me. And now my cooking equipment. All of it lives in this pot here. This is some GSI gear and it's the minimalist cooking set. This pot holder is the top of the line MSR one. It's so light and compact. It's also got a self-igniter on it. So this wee kit is what I use to boil all my water in, and then I pour that water into my food bags and eat straight out of them, so I don't need to bring around a plate. So in this kit, always keep a bit of peanut butter for emergencies, a couple of instant coffees, some raw sugar, and a scourer to help clean the food or residue out of this cooking pot. This is bloody awesome, especially in sub-zero temperatures. It can boil the water extremely fast, faster than any other product I've used in the past. And of course the fuel canister, that's kept separate. When boiling water in this, I always wear my gloves, which are perfectly suitable for handling this when it's hot. So that's why I got rid of the pot gripper out of the pack. There's no need for it in there. And the wee lid here is definitely good for coffees on a cold day, and you can get quite a bit of quantity in there. I'm not sure off the top of my head how much that holds. I think it's half a litre, could be wrong. Next bag is right from the bottom of the pack. Now this bag's almost stuffed, but in here it just contains all of my spare clothing items. Again, these are the minimum items that I carry. I do carry more depending on the situation or where I'm going. Among the clothing items, I have some nice warm socks, a decent beanie, spare underwear, and my decent thermals, a full set of thermals. These are the Ultra Core thermals from Kathmandu, so they are the top of the range ones, and they work really well, especially for sleeping in cold environments up in the mountains. Next thing is the tent. Now this is an MSR tent. It is the 2-person tent. It's nice and really lightweight. I'll show you it set up in a completely separate video. Also have some gaiters. I only chuck these in the pack if I'm out wearing shorts. These ones are the Outdoor Research knee-high ones, and you can roll them back if you don't want them to be knee-high. Always take some paracord with me, really handy if I need to do lashing, tie something down, fix the tent. There's heaps of good uses for it. Sleeping gear. First of all, I have my Thermarest air mattress. This is the top of the range one. It is quite expensive, but it's very comfortable and nice and warm. So I use this with the sleeping bag, which is a Comet from Kathmandu. And this sleeping bag is nice and compact, and it's great to use all year round, even up in the mountains. I haven't had any issues. Next couple items here. This here is my Shemag. 100 uses for this. This is awesome. Uses a mask, in dusty environments, and keep you warm. And in this little pouch here is some waterproof pants. Really light and compact. One thing I skipped over are hand warmers. I always take 2 of them out with me. The only reason I didn't have them in the pack was because I had to buy some more to replenish the ones I'd used previously. One thing I don't carry at the minute is a portable programmable radio. Unfortunately, this one went for a swim and it's no longer working, so it doesn't go in the pack. I will be buying a waterproof version of one of these radios at some point, but currently that's not in there. When we are doing search and rescue, we do have proper radios on us, also GPS units, and one of the members has a PLB. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll endeavour to make more. Cheers for watching.